Hi kids, it's Pastor Emmy at Kingswood, London here with the Bible storybook God's Love for You. I hope you've been having a good day and I've been doing your best. As you can see, I've got my apron on. I've been doing some cooking in the kitchen, so I'm just taking a break to do this Bible story reading just for you. One of our listeners on Instagram, her name is Dara, she asked a question about yesterday's Bible reading, and the question was, why did God send Abraham on a journey? All right, so God wanted to start a family, as it were, and he wanted Abraham to be the father for that family. God didn't want to start his family just anywhere. He had a special place that he had marked out to start his family. And he wanted to take Abraham to that special place so that Abraham could start out God's family right there. That family, as we know, the Jews, the spiritual Jews. At the time, it was the natural Jews. So as many people who are saved by Jesus Christ are now a part of God's family, his spiritual family, and not just the natural family. But God took Abraham on a journey because he wanted Abraham to discover the place that he had earmarked or chosen to start his new family. All right, so Dara, I hope that answers your question, and thank you for sending your question in. So today's story is God is true to his word. All right, and I want you guys to pay attention. This is going to be from Genesis chapter 17 and 18 and Genesis chapter 21. Abraham and Sarai had faithfully obeyed God. They had left behind everything they had ever known and followed him. God had promised them a big family and they had believed him. But now they were both very old and they still did not have even one child. It was difficult for them to be patient. That's when God went to Abraham again and said, "Your name will now be Abraham." It means father of many nations. Sarai will now be Sarah, and she will give you a son. But they still waited and waited. Abraham and Sarah must have wondered if they had misunderstood God's promise. But they were about to be amazed. 3 men appeared with a special message from God. By this time next year, Abraham, your wife, will have a baby boy. Abraham didn't know what to say, but Sarah laughed to herself as she thought, "Now, I've waited my entire life to be a mother, and now that I'm old, now I will have a baby." Sure enough, a few months later, Sarah became pregnant. The miracle of a baby growing inside her made her smile. God had kept his promise in a miraculous way, and Sarah gave birth to a baby boy. Abraham and Sarah finally had the child God had promised them. They named their little boy Isaac, which means laughter. Ha ha ha. Just as God said, Abraham's descendants are like the stars in the sky. There are too many to count. Many years after Isaac was born, the most important son will be born through Abraham's family. But first, Abraham had Isaac, and Isaac had Jacob, and Esau, and Jacob had 12 sons. Never give up on God. Even when you have to wait a really long time, God will not forget you. He will not leave you. And he will always do exactly what he says. I can now hear some noise in the background, so maybe that means it's time for us to go. But remember, if you have a question, ask mommy and daddy to ask Pastor Emmy. All right then. Bye.